if you're new here on Kaneti and if you're already watching this channel, welcome back. So I realized I never watched Debunking Araki Forgot Part 3 by Hamon Beat. I've made reactions. One reaction, there was one video Debunking Araki Forgot for Part 1 and Part 2, and it's been like a while ago, and I have this video sitting here. So as usual, I'm going to link Hamon Beat's channel and the video itself in the description. Please go give it a watch, give it a like, but here I'm going to be reacting to it, pausing all the time, talking all the time, but yeah, if you're interested in my thoughts, I still remember part 3 pretty well. I feel like much better than I remember part 6 that I watched more recently, so I feel like this is going to go well. Let's wait and see, let's watch and see, let's go. I love the intro, it's always so good. I made it louder. I hope it's loud enough now.
This is what we've really been waiting for. Part 3 is not only the most well-known JoJo part, it's also the one with the most misinformation surrounding it. So in this video, I'll be covering almost everything people claim Araki forgot in Part 3.
Okay, let's go.
The first one is also the biggest, Dio's coffin, but it is also one of the easiest to disprove. In Part 1, Erina and the infant Lisa used the coffin to escape from the exploding ship. In Part 3, Dio is found underwater 100 years later in the coffin.
How did it get there? How did it get in the water if they escaped in it? Well, they escaped it and they just pushed it back in the water.
Massive amount of people who think that there must have been
2 coffins. How did they even get to that idea? Ah, right, because like, yeah, since she escaped in one, but Dio was in the second one. So like how he would use it if she used that to escape. Okay, no, that makes sense. See, that's already like, I have to remember part 1 and it's been years.
in a second coffin and that its existence is a plot hole.
Okay, let's hear it.
Confusing to me since there was never a second coffin. The manga and anime both show a secret compartment in the coffin where...
Right. So, like, they all escaped. He was always in the coffin, right? Okay, let's hear what it says. It had 2 compartments, they've designed to shelter something. One day a cruiser was found, resting between the waves. The ship was empty, there was no sign of a struggle. 3 cups of coffee, still half full, but of the crew, not a trace. Only one detail seemed strange. A steel box, ripped apart, with a blowtorch, lay open on the deck. Empty. Those who saw the thickness of the steel found it peculiar and wondered at the treasure that must have been inside, but in time it was forgotten. And then we see Erina escaping. She's like in the main compartment of the coffin. So while she was escaping all the time in the hidden compartment, like Dio was there. Okay, that makes sense. I kind of forgot about it.
Before the ship exploded.
Completely.
At the end of Part 1, Erina is seen sitting in the red-lined portion of the coffin. In Part 3, we can see that portion is removable.
Yeah, that's very clear here in this panel that it's like an upper portion, right?
Space underneath. The amount of people that do not even know about this is staggering.
To be honest, I completely forgot about this. Maybe I said something when I was watching Part 3, but it's been so long.
I'd like to make sure that as many people as possible are at least aware of it.
Okay, fair point.
The existence of this secret compartment also makes perfect sense. If Dio ever had to hide inside, he would need a way to protect himself just in case it is opened in direct sunlight. However, even after knowing, there are still some people that will try to argue about how Dio managed to get inside. Some explanations have been given in a couple of different JoJo novels, but those are non-canon, so I will not be using.
What is this card? Where is this from? That's Joseph's father, right? With young Lisa, I suppose. L and J. Oh, that's perfect. Like Jack and a lady, I suppose. It looks so beautiful.
Those ripple of different JoJo novels.
JoJo novel, so it's a cover of a JoJo novel that I didn't read. I only downloaded, I feel like, Purple Haze, and I think it's like non-canon, and I started it and I never finished.
Non-canon, so I will not be using those.
They are also non-canon. Okay, so none of the novels are canon, I suppose.
I'd say the answer is as simple as he took Jonathan's body and just walked over and got inside. But people seem more particular about details, so I'll go over those.
Okay.
Some people have asked how Dio got inside the compartment when Erina was already there.
Yeah, and what did Dio say, excuse me, to Irina so he could slide in with her husband? I'm sorry, ma'am, just a second. It doesn't make sense how Dio could chop off Jojo's head, take over his body, slip into the secret compartment, all while Irina was right there. And after they found Irina, did they just lock it up and toss it back into the ocean for 100 years? Well, that's actually the most believable part. She would be like, I don't want any reminders of that tragedy. I don't want to see like this anymore. And it also has Dio written on it. Like, better to get rid of it. That's the most believable part of, like, most explainable.
Or how she didn't notice. Considering that it's a secret compartment, there's probably a secretive way to open it.
Okay.
If Dio had customized a coffin that can shoot out a crystal from the inside to kill people, I'm sure that he would have had a way to open the coffin straight into the bottom portion, either from the lid itself or through a false bottom. As for how Erina wouldn't notice the movement of the coffin, I think the swaying of the boat along with explosions and falling debris would account for that.
Okay, that's all very good explanations. I mean, if he got somewhere like from the back, from the part of the lid, then she wouldn't visually see him. And the movement, yeah, it's very easily explained by waves, by the boat moving. So yeah, that's a very good point.
I've asked how Erina left the coffin without Dio escaping. This one is also quite simple. At the end of part 1, Erina was floating in the open coffin and was rescued off the coast of the Canary Islands.
Also, wait, this actually, I wonder if he's going to say this. Like, if she is helped in middle of the ocean, right? Or of the coast, a boat sees her. They take her from the coffin to the boat and just leave the coffin in the water. They just take her and don't care about that coffin. They don't need it on the boat.
I'd say it's reasonable to suggest that in a time period with no electricity, Erina is most likely to have been rescued during the daytime, during which Dio would...
right, because they wouldn't see her during the night and Dio wouldn't want to go out during the day.
...outside of the coffin. There was no reason that Erina would take the coffin with her, so it eventually sank to the seabed, where it was found 100 years later.
Okay, these are very good explanations, honestly. There's again some of the questions I didn't really even think about it, but I guess some people did, and I think Hamon Beat explained everything quite well. It all makes a lot of sense.
This time, the coffin was opened after the sun had set, so
Yeah.
Dio was able to escape.
We even see the sunset. Okay.
Another common topic is how Jotaro got all of the objects in his cell.
Objects in the cell. How do you start Platinum? Collect all those items in Jotaro's prison cell if it has such a short range. How did Jotaro get all those things? What things did he have?
While keeping himself in the jail cell, Star Platinum acted subconsciously and brought Jotaro objects. Some people point out...
What the heck? I don't think we saw that many objects in the anime. Holy shit. That's a lot of stuff. I don't have nothing else to say. What?
Platinum is a short-range power type stand, and shouldn't be able to go very far to gather these objects. I'd like to point out that a stand's effective range is not necessarily equal to its actual range. Close-range stands generally decrease in power as they get farther from their user, but it's not out of the question that Star Platinum would have been able to gather objects from in and possibly around the police station.
Yeah, that makes sense. You mean, like, we can't use him to fight on a longer distance, but maybe he can actually move that distance, and like bringing a book or some maybe even a bigger object isn't that much of exhaustion as fighting someone, you know. In principle, a stand can only be used within a certain range, centered around the owner. As such, this field in which the stand can operate in is conveniently called range. Range and stand power are inversely proportional, as a stand's power will decrease the further away it is. Yeah, so it's just decreasing, it's getting weaker. It can't attack maybe, right? But it can just take an object. This principle applies to almost all stands. In addition, a stand's range can also be further defined as effective range, meaning a stand will not immediately lose its power after leaving its designated range. Rather, it will gradually lose it the further it goes. To put it more, yeah, like slowly disappearing in the distance, like this kind of effect, you know? To put it more accurately, a stand's range is the field in which it can most effectively operate. That's a really good explanation. What is this? Jojo a go stands page 84. What is that? Is interesting. What is this read?
As for how the larger objects were able to get inside, we were able to clearly see that Star Platinum can open the cell door on its own. A more difficult thing to address is the first battle against Magician's Red. Star Platinum loses power while Jotaro is being suffocated by the red bind. Later on in the Dark Blue Moon fight, which takes place largely underwater, breath seems to have no effect on stands. I can easily see this as a holdover from early concepts for stands, which
Wait, that's pretty. Wow. Looks so cute. I love the purple. I love the design. In manga, it looks so gorgeous. There it goes. As the heat takes your breath, it grows weak. It's an evil spirit, and yet it is not.
which in Japanese can be read as ghostly ripple. However, on the next page, Joseph still
Wait, what?
Japanese can be read as, we see this as a holdover from early concepts for stands, which in Japanese can be read as ghostly ripple.
So stands were going to be mostly like the ripple power, like Hamon, because when I started watching JoJo, I had the translation where it was called ripple, this kind of power, like that they used in first part and in the second part, but was mostly forgotten in the third part. And then I was told in the comments that, oh, it's actually called Hamon, which I thought was hilarious, because, you know, Hamon is like kind of like bacon in Spanish, but I kind of got more used to it, and even like this channel is called Hamon Beat, but I remember still, yeah, the ripple. So stands were going to be like an upgrade to the system, like you are still using this energy, the ripple, but it manifests into a stand.
However, on the next page, Joseph still says that stands are created by life energy.
Life energy indeed, Jotaro. What you have called an evil spirit is but a powerful vision created by your own life energy. And since it stands next to you, it is called a stand. I'm sorry, this naming is fantastic. Since it stands next to you, it's called a stand. That's the worst naming I have ever seen. Like, the worst reasoning.
Which is how they are generally thought of in later parts. Stands are tied to your consciousness, and losing consciousness would make your stand weaken.
Yeah, like a manifestation of your soul is how I usually explain it myself.
Jotaro was in his first stand battle and was being strangled. While in the Dark Blue Moon fight, Jotaro is prepared and is holding his breath for no more than 2 minutes.
Yeah, he already had practice. He already knows what to do. How long can this guy last underwater? The longest I can hold my breath is 2 minutes. Can he last longer than I can? Or something like that, I bet. Can I hold it for 2 minutes? Maybe I could when I did more swimming. Right now I feel like I'm always out of breath.
Some people ask how Joseph can look as old as he does despite being a Hamon user.
Why did Joseph... Well, because he didn't use it. I feel like... did we talk about it? Did I talk about it with someone? He was lazy. He didn't want to practice with it. And so he aged, basically. I think that's the explanation.
Part 2, Lisa looked quite young. So why...
50 years? But you're 50 years old. You were a grandma. Or at least you should be. Yeah, because she was actively practicing it.
Joseph the same way. Lisa was raised by Strazo and had been learning Hamon since childhood.
Straits, I suppose. Yeah, and Straits, he also looked good for a very long time. He was actively using it, I suppose, right? What did you say, Straits? It's because of him that I mastered the ripple as well as the red stone. Yeah, he also did look very young in his old years because he did practice with it. She did practice with it as well. But he was lazy. Joseph was lazy and he didn't want to do anything. He didn't practice with it. And so because of it, he grew old. So you are saying Straits was your adopted father? It brings me much grief that Straits lost his mind when he thought about losing his youth. Jojo, the fact that you killed him is casting some odd mixed feelings on me, but it was probably just fate. The aforementioned coffin is shown here. pink dress is so pretty, Arinas. I can't believe this. It's true. It's making me feel strange relationships. Lisa, she's been carrying a heavy burden too.
After the death of her husband, she secluded herself and did nothing but train in the following years.
Exactly.
Joseph, on the other hand, only trained in Hamon Beat.
Yeah, no, the phrase I hate the most is hard work. And my second most hated word is work hard. Yeah, exactly.
Had to, and had no reason to continue doing so after the defeat of the Pillar Men.
Pretty much.
Lisa is actually not a very good example to make this argument. Joseph is 69 years old in Part 3, while Lisa was 50 in Part 2. A better example would be Strezo, who at 75 years old and even with constant Hamon training, still began to look older as the years went on.
Okay, my memory apparently sucks. I remembered him looking hotter. Wait, maybe that's because... Oh... Yeah, see, I think I forgot. He actually looked like this. Like, he still looks good, to be honest. Look at he does still look good because, like, the time has passed. He doesn't look too ancient. But, yeah, he still did age. That is true. Well, we don't know extent to which he was training. I feel like Lisa was considered as, like, master of Ripple, of Hamon. She was, it seems like, really was training a lot. So, maybe that is really question of how much he trained. I feel like just in my brain I remembered straights after he transformed, and then when Joseph was fighting him with this huge gun. Oh my gosh, that was such a long time ago, right? He got that energy from the mask and became kind of not really human, right? And then so he got his use back in a way. That's how it went, right? See, I don't remember the details by now.
Looked older as the years went on. Back in Part 1, Dio was shown to have created chimera creatures that he kept around his mansion.
Wow. Did I? Yeah, I mean, maybe they looked different in the anime. They look so ugly. I know that it does, you know, it's supposed to not look right, but it looks horrible.
Some people ask why he never made more of these after he returned.
Maybe he didn't like the experiment. He thought like, no, that didn't work out. Those who don't have manners don't deserve to live. Yeah, see, that they probably didn't have manners. Alas, I thought it might be beautiful to fuse the corpses of a human and a dog to make him. Was it then in the anime where this poor lady that was like an older sister from the village, older sister of that boy that actually, was she his older sister? He was pretty brave, and I unfortunately forgot his name. He didn't... That was in the first part, right? Yes, that was in the first part. And then this creature kind of attacked her. Was it one of the chimeras? And here, Dio is saying, like, basically in this panel that the experiment didn't go well. Like, he didn't like the results, so why would he make more? I guess that's the point here.
He simply didn't like them, and only really made them to test the limit of his abilities. However, what I think people are missing is that Dio essentially did use this ability again when he grafted his own head onto Jonathan's body. During the first appearance...
That's a good point. That's not quite a chimera, I suppose, because it's human and human, but it's also fusing, which is, yeah, fair.
He is seen using a painting while he attacks...
Okay, wait, what's happening here?
During the first appearance of Cacuan...
And then he never uses paintings again, yes! Okay, sorry.
Jotaro. He paints over Jotaro's leg, and Jotaro is attacked in the same spot. Many people ask why he never used...
Why? Yes! It makes no sense. Araki forgot that I don't think he forgot. Maybe it was his evil only powers. Only when he's evil he's using painting.
This painting ability again. This is another one that confuses me. The painting was never a part of his ability. It was just an attack from Hierophant Green. Either an Emerald Splash or an attack from one of Hierophant Green's strands. Cacuan even destroys the painting afterwards, hinting that it has nothing to do with his ability. Some people have said that since we can't see the attack, it couldn't have been from his stand. Well, we don't see his stand when he destroys the painting, and many times in the series we've been shown things happening with the stand being invisible. Later on,
So you think like the painting didn't have like anything at all to do with this? It was just him being more artistic and dramatic about it. That's a good explanation.
possesses the school nurse by using Hierophant Green to control her.
Yeah.
He's using a puppet in this scene, but the ability is shown to be unrelated. This further supports that the canvas itself is unrelated to his stand.
Yeah, so I guess the idea is he's just being, as I said, like, and dramatic about it, you know, showing off a little bit, or maybe trying to confuse his opponent, which, okay, then it's, again, the same question. Why wouldn't he use that confusing technique at all anymore if he was trying to maybe divert the attention, make you think that, oh, I'm using the painting for it, oh, I'm using the marionette for it, when in fact it's not the case, because as we know, Kakyoin is like one of the smartest ones in the group. I think maybe even the smartest one, and so he using some diversion techniques and like his mind and stuff, it does make a lot of sense.
And the puppet are just being used for show.
Yeah, for sure.
Kakuin's possession abilities are tied to another
this episode was so... I like the whole Stardust Crusaders. That is so disgusting in like visuals. Like,
question. Outside of this scene, Kakuin no longer uses his stand to possess people. Well, there are multiple reasons for this.
Because he's not evil anymore?
Being manipulated by Dio, and would never harm innocent people on his own.
Yeah.
He does still use Hierophant Green to enter people, as seen at the end of the Death 13 fight.
Yeah, you know, this fight is exactly what I kind of remember when I think about Kakyoin fights. Maybe he didn't have actually enough fights. I feel like Polnareff had most of the spotlight.
When he saves a little...
And, well, Jotaro, of course. Also, wow, this colored manga panel, I really love the contrast between purple and green. It works so well, and yeah, it's just drawn so beautifully. Didn't you notice Kakyoin used his Hierophant's tentacle by tying it to your stand's leg as it escaped? You must have been too distracted in your chance to escape if you didn't realize that it left a path all the way to here.
Girl from being attacked by lovers. None of Kakuin's other fights would benefit in any way from using possession. First of all, stand users can see his stand, which would make them very difficult to possess. Tower of Grey was too small and fast, so once he caught it, he tore it apart instead.
Makes sense.
and Jay Guile were too far away, and he wanted to let Polnareff be the one to kill Jay Guile anyway.
Yeah, good point.
Possessing Steely Dan himself would solve nothing about the stand in Joseph's brain, and it would just harm Joseph if he attempted it. The younger Darby would be able to see himself being attacked by Hierophant Green, which would count as cheating and cause Kakuin to instantly have his soul taken. And lastly, Dio, where the entire premise of the fight was that Kakuin needed to stay a safe distance away from him. One which I find somewhat annoying is the often repeated line, "No one can just deflect the Emerald Splash." Like a lot of Rocky Forgot moments, this one started as a joke. But for whatever reason, I've seen it lumped in with other inconsistencies as if this is somehow one of them. This is really no different from any other villain.
Like someone just said that no one can deflect it.
Villain character being surprised that their attack doesn't work. This line is also from the dub, which makes it a little bit more inaccurate compared to the original line.
Like he said, no, yeah, that's something that's not exactly necessarily a fact. Yeah, when a villain says, what? No one can deflect my fabulous attack. No one can survive my magnificent attack. Yeah, they're just showing off.
In parts 1 and 2, the battles focused mostly on Hamon abilities.
Mm-hmm.
Starting in part 3, there was a shift towards stands. Some people wonder why a change like this was made, and
to try something new and fun, I think. I mean, the more fair question is like, okay, we have stands now, but why can't we use Hamon also, right? It could be helpful. I guess we could answer this easily. No one taught them Hamon. They don't know it, so they don't use it. Why didn't Joseph teach the Crusaders to use Hamon against Dio in Stardust Crusaders? Because he already forgot everything himself. He used his stand ability. He had that episode where he fought that lady, that like catfishing lady. I don't think he used Hamon, right? He mostly just used his new stand ability with purple something.
Why Joseph didn't teach Hamon to the other characters.
Let's see.
It is has been shown that Hamon takes weeks of training
Yeah.
to use effectively. The group had 50
They
days
didn't have
until
time.
Holly died, and they ended up killing Dio on the last possible day.
Fair
It's
point.
simply not efficient to stop and try to learn Hamon, or to teach it half-assed along the way.
Yeah, if they are already like more proficient with stands, it's more practical to just use stands and yeah, what they're stronger with. Okay, that yeah, good
The
point.
main conflict in Part 3 is that the forced awakening of a stand in Holly has caused her to become ill, since she is not strong enough to control it. Some people have asked how Holly is not able to control her stand, when children, infants, dogs, rats, and other peaceful people like Tonio or Aya can. I think this stems from a misunderstanding about
This kind, peaceful woman doesn't have the power to resist Dio's curse. She doesn't have the strength to control her stand. Yeah, like why she in particular?
how stands work. A stand is not necessarily based on a fighting spirit, and more like a strength of spirit. First of all,
Like her spirit was weak. Like the child's spirit was very strong, but specifically her spirit was very weak. But yeah, I feel like the line there on the panel that we just saw, it kind of implies because she was so like sweet and peaceful and kind, that I feel like that also makes sense. I feel like she was probably very spoiled when she was little, and then she never, like when Jotaro is being mean to her, she's never trying to discipline him in any way. She's just taking it. So yeah, I guess that's a good point. She's pretty weak-spirited.
people like Tonio and Aya manifested their stands through mastery of a craft. Since they became so skilled with a certain task, a stand formed which fit their skill. This is different from a forced awakening through something like the arrow or the Joestar curse. The Joestar stands were awakened because of the distress signal sent from Jonathan's body. This gave them very powerful stands capable of locating and finding Dio. Since Holly is a peaceful person, she is not suited for this kind of stand.
Yeah, because it's not like she developed her stand. She was like, the stand was forced on her, and she was like super not ready for it. Okay, yeah.
He is also not the only person shown in JoJo who had a partial stand awakening.
I'm a self-aware stand. Minato Masaza wasn't strong enough to become a real stand user and control me himself. So I did it, yeah. So his also spirit was too weak.
As the user of Cheap Trick in Part 4 was still able to attain a stand, but was unable to control it. Early on in Part 3, stand names were based on tarot cards. Before leaving, the group draws the cards to choose the name of their stand.
Yeah, right. I feel like we even had, this like middle of the episode, they show you some kind of screen. And I think they showed like the cards and a bit of explanation and stats of the stand. I think I have like some screenshots saved on my laptop. That was actually pretty exciting. These tarot cards are so beautiful.
Enya also used the cards to name the stands of Dio's minions. So why didn't they ever draw the same cards?
I have a question. As an anime-only fan who only watched the series once, I may have missed something very relatable. Is it ever explained why the tarot cards work flawlessly? Anyaba assigned like 20 stand names and Avdol assigned 3, and they just happened to not call 2 stands star. Like how did it happen that they didn't repeat? Also, as far as I know, exactly all the tarot cards are used. We didn't get like 19 or 18 people. Is there any lore behind it, or did Araki just use tarot cards to make it cooler? Yeah, he definitely did. No, being a fortune teller doesn't give you psychic abilities, neither does a flying firebird. Okay.
In a series where fate has repeatedly been shown to be real, and where fortune tellers make multiple appearances in which they are always accurate.
Okay. I'm just like, this is a part 5 manga, but I'm certain of it. You definitely do have a daughter. I did not make this splatter. It was a marking you made yourself. It cannot be falsified. You must have a daughter, one that's 14 or 15 years old. Don't be silly. How old was I when I had her? The fortune is so dumb. This is a bit like, okay, this is part 5, so if you didn't, I'm just going to say maybe something spoilery, right? But in this case, Hamon Beat is going to say something spoiler if you didn't watch or read like fifth part. But yeah, I feel like here in this case, the fortune teller sees Diavolo inside of Doppio, and that's like who is he reading right now. Saying like, yeah, Diavolo has a daughter, and I guess she was 14, 15 years old. Yeah, they were actually like pretty young, though she did look a little bit older. Yeah, maybe she was exactly that age. Yeah, fortune tellers are shown to be correct.
I really don't see how people get hung up on this. They didn't draw the same cards because they're tarot cards, and it was fated to happen that way. It's really that simple.
Yeah, I think that I wouldn't even like question it, to be honest.
Right after the group leaves for Egypt, Dio is shown using his own version of Hermit Purple to spy on them.
Hermit Purple. Okay, I remember the word purple. That's something. Hermit Purple, right. Also, I just wanted to pause because this page looks so cool. Oh my gosh, this is like art.
A lot of people seem to think this is an abandoned idea where Dio would have had the power of every stand. That is nothing but a fan theory and has no source whatsoever. And the amount of times that...
Are you gonna talk about how Dio used Hermit Purple in the beginning of part 3? Then Araki changed his stand from being every stand to just being the role? Yeah, Hermit Purple in him would be coming from Jonathan, I suppose.
Seen it repeated as fact is insane. In actuality, this Hermit Purple is the stand of Jonathan's body.
Yeah, makes sense. A lot of sense. Like, if it's given to everyone, to Jonathan, to Holly, Joseph, they all get the same stand. Like, Jotaro got a special one. He is able to use a similar clairvoyance as Joseph because his body is Jonathan's from the neck down. Like, that's pretty
as confirmed
obvious.
By Araki himself in the stand dictionary from the Jojo Agogo art book.
That's an art book. Oh, it would be so cool to have this art book.
Many people refer to this stand as the Passion, but this is incorrect. The Passion is Jonathan's stand in the non-canon spin-off novel George Joestar.
Wait, Passion? Passion is like a tarot card? I honestly don't know like anything about tarot cards. Almost nothing. Also another beautiful page. You see something, your crystal ball. It's a vision from your heart. That's when Dio was talking to Paul Narev. It's a vision from your heart, the man you seek, the pain you hide. My power only makes it visible.
Stand is the Passion, but this is incorrect. The Passion is Jonathan's stand in the non-canon spin-off novel George Joestar.
So George Joestar was the name of the novel. Okay, makes sense. Yes, it's the cover.
It functions completely differently from this stand. The official name for this stand is simply Jonathan's stand. To talk more about this stand, some people have asked why Dio is able to track the movements of the group so easily, and this is...
Yeah, again, connection to Jonathan's body. As I thought, they have found out where I am, because you can see the star even in this panel as a hint. So they came, Joseph, Jotaro, because, like, as their, how do they say it, progenitor, he feels them.
This is also the reason Dio was able to manipulate the message Joseph read on the TV.
He caught us, Joseph Joestar, once again. You have been watching me. Dio, look out! Oh wait, I remember this moment.
The characters Kakyoin and Polnareff were both being shown controlled by flesh buds placed by Dio. They became allies after Jotaro removed their flesh buds. Some
Disgusting.
people have asked why Jotaro didn't recruit any more people using this method.
Maybe he saw that method isn't really effective, or maybe he found more people who are like willing without this shit.
Users were shown to be following Dio for reasons other than mind control. Many of them were seduced by him, which Dio has an extreme tendency for.
Oh wait, this lady, didn't she have black hair in the anime? I remember her. She thought Joseph was hot. It's true, your stand is much stronger than mine. I can't hold it off much longer. Turn off the magnetism, please. Oh, sorry. You're good looking, but you're nowhere near as handsome as Lord Dio. Which is like weird. If Joseph is her type, he looks so different from Dio, to be honest. Like, I think Joseph looks attractive. I don't think Dio looks attractive. Just my opinion.
And others talk openly about being paid by him. Most of them are just
Wait a
plain
second,
evil.
about being paid by
Others
him,
are.
yeah. Please let me go to the hospital, I'll stay there for a few months. I joined Dia because he offered me a lot of money, but it's not worth following you guys around anymore.
Openly about being paid by him. Most of them are just plain evil, and there are even people like Whole Horse who is clearly not being mind-controlled, since he often considers betraying Dio.
I'll blow your brains. Maybe Dio finds that. I don't remember. Was there something about this? But I feel like Dio found this entertaining. I'll blow your brains out on the floor. Dio, what is he reading? It's intelligible. Are you really trying to shoot me? Whole Horse was so fun. Man.
None of the other stand users were able or willing to be converted to the Crusaders' side. In the flashback introducing Jay Guile, he is briefly shown using a shield that protects himself from the rain. I'm surprised people still bring this up, since I really haven't seen anyone talking about it since before the Part 3
Oh
anime.
my god, this horrible flashback.
This is really as simple as having Hanged Man go between reflections on the raindrops to prevent them from hitting him.
Yeah, makes sense. I didn't think about it. It's kind of talking about this suddenly. I was still stuck on the previous point. Well, okay.
Blue Moon fight, the runaway girl character, later known in the anime as Anne, is introduced. She stays with the group for a short time and rejoins them again before later being sent home.
Yeah.
The argument for whether Araki forgot her is really the same as Poco in the last video. She's just a minor character. In the Dark Blue...
What was the question? Okay, I actually did like a whole separate reaction to a video on Anne. I'm sure we talked about that there. But it's like, yeah, why didn't she come back? Well, he didn't think there was anything of importance to add. It wasn't... She did have a lot of presence in the anime, but yeah, she wasn't really like a main character.
Moon and Strength fights, Jotaro is shown using his Star Finger ability, where he extends his finger to hit things. A lot of people have asked why this ability is not used in more situations, and some even bring up examples from other parts.
Didn't feel like it.
I'll cover the examples for other parts in those videos when I get to them. However, there is some word from Araki as to why this ability didn't return.
Okay.
He said, as the fights intensified, its frequency of use decreased.
So it wasn't good enough for more intensified fight.
This would imply, at least to me, that the ability is not very powerful in the first place. Jotaro has only ever used it as a last resort when he is restrained. However, I will be revisiting the viability of Starfinger in my Part 4 and Part 6 videos. As for within Part 3, the idea that random abilities not constantly coming back means that Araki forgot them is just asinine to me.
Yeah, maybe he just decided not to use it. Doesn't mean he forgot it. It seems like people like use Araki Sensei of forgetting a lot of things. Just like if something doesn't come back, they're like, he must have forgotten it. But it doesn't necessarily mean it, especially since he seems to be a storyteller that really loves changing things up, as we clearly see from the manga, the anime, as I watch it as an anime. He loves trying new things. He loves changing things up. So why he would just like reuse everything again and again when he can come up with something new, try something new, decide, okay, this didn't work, maybe this wasn't fun enough, I'm just going to do it differently, etc., etc. This makes a lot of sense.
During the fight against Ebony Devil, Polnareff is blinded and trapped underneath the bed.
Yeah, I remember this. That was a crazy episode. Your stand is not the kind of stand that can fight when you can't see. Oh my gosh. I kind of want to rewatch it.
Making him unable to see where to attack with his stand. However, Polnareff is seemingly able to see with his stand inside Joseph during the lovers' fight. What some people seem to have forgotten is that Joseph was showing Kakyoin and Polnareff what was happening on the TV with Rubber Purple.
Makes sense.
When Rubber Soul is disguised as Kakyoin, he is shown using Hierophant Green to attack the robber. For some reason, people view this as a plot hole, despite Yellow Temperance being a blob that can shapeshift into anything he wants. Others ask how nobody saw this attack happening, since Yellow...
So, like, it was still Yellow Blob just in a form of Hierophant Green.
Yellow Temperance is a visible stand, but the fake Hierophant Green is shown traveling low along the ground while the others have their back turned. During the fight against Steely Dan, Kakyoin and Polnareff are shown shrinking their stands to go inside of Joseph's body.
Yeah.
Shrinking your stand takes intense concentration to do and leaves you completely defenseless. Your stand's power also decreases the smaller it becomes.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Also, that episode, it felt so, I don't know, hard, complicated. I don't know, the whole thing. It's maybe not of one of my favorites. Let's see what they say here. This size, it's not possible. The walls are too thick. The size of the hole will be microscopic, so there's no need to worry. It will take several minutes to cut down a blood vessel or nerve at this size. Otherwise, we would have already struck down the enemy stand. Though we may have already started. Keeping our stands this small is hard. It requires a lot of stand energy. Maybe I'm just like revealing myself that I like more straightforward and flashy stuff, face-to-face combat effects and stuff like that. And when you have to do something more like surgically, strategically, slowly, I'm like, that's not exciting enough. Maybe that's why I'm not particularly fond of this episode.
A lot of people seem to think this would have been useful again, but I really see no other opportunities where a stand user could just stand around without being attacked while shrinking their stand for whatever reason.
Yeah, to be honest, that felt like almost the last resort. They thought of it, oh, like we could do that. It was specifically for countering this specific stand, not something that would be optimal for us to do. So yeah, why would they want to do it again if there are other options?
This kind of ability is really only useful against a microscopic stand like lovers. The next fight is against a stand that takes the form of a sun. Some people ask...
that was such a hilarious... tell me why. I remember every episode so well in part 3. It's been ages, and I remember it so well. I didn't rewatch it. But why don't I remember? I tried making a video about part 6, and I'm like, who are all these people? What were their names? How was the fight? I didn't remember shit. Why did the sun work for Dio when he could have literally eradicated him? And don't say he didn't know that he was Dio's weakness. Any idiot with a stand will at least try to use his stand to resist. Maybe he didn't want to resist.
Dio, who is a vampire, is able to control someone whose stand is the sun, a vampire's weakness. This is because this is not really a sun. Vampires in JoJo are weak to a specific wavelength of energy. This sun...
Yeah, I guess that's like a bit different. That's right. If he's attacked by a larger wave of Hamon energy, he will be crushed. The Hamon energy is created by waves. Yes!
Stand would have as much
He's so cool! I have a really cool wallpaper with him. I'm just okay, video. Like the waves of the light of the sun. Waves of the light of the sun. Yeah, that's the sun energy. And yeah, not exactly... Okay, let's see what he says.
On Dio as any other light source, like Magician's Red's fire, a flashlight, or the lit lamps he gladly keeps inside of his mansion. Even if this stand did function like the actual sun, Dio has been shown to be perfectly capable of convincing people to join him with his supernatural charisma.
Yeah, like pretty much. Maybe he just didn't want to resist. Maybe he didn't even try. We don't know if his stand would work well against Dio or not, since it's not like natural sun waves. I think that's the point that being made here. But also maybe he just didn't want to even try it. Especially since this character, he was hiding. He was, it even was said in the comment that he wasn't very brave. And so I feel like, yeah, he didn't want to even try, and if there's a chance that something bad can happen to him. And also maybe he was also, I don't remember, like what was his reason. Maybe he was also well paid, or yeah, just because of Dio's charm he decided to join. I don't think it's really like something that is forgotten or overlooked. How did Polnareff get his earring back from the lady? Oh my god, that episode! Who took care of him when he got transformed into a kid? Yeah, I think he left one earring behind then. Well, he just made or bought a new one. I don't know.
The lessee, Polnareff loses one of his earrings. In the following arcs, he is seen with the earring back. The only reason attention is being drawn to this earring is because it was a small hint to the woman that Polnareff was the child she met.
Yeah, exactly. That was a hint for her. It was such a dramatic, like, ending in a way. Because, oh, it is kind of even some kind of a romantic setup, you could say. Oh my god, that episode. It kind of felt, I don't know, it made me feel sad, I would say. It's that boy's earring. It was real. For some reason I couldn't move, and yes, I couldn't move, but I remember everything. He was protecting me. He was fighting against a grown man. He was so brave and so manly. Where did he go? Where did my little knight go? Oh my gosh.
Earlier. Afterwards, it's replaced like any...
Also, they are yellow here. They are red in the anime, right? I'm quite certain they are red in the anime.
Other damaged article of clothing the characters have. Even Polnareff loses the earring multiple times. And in the final arc, Polnareff doesn't get his earring back until after they defeated Dio.
Yeah, so he went to the store and bought a new one. He has a collection, you know. He opens his suitcase and there's just ton of these earrings.
Against Darby, Joseph enters a bet that involves dropping coins into a glass, trying not to be the one to make it spill over. I've seen multiple people asking why he didn't use Hamon to keep the liquid inside the glass. This has a very easy answer. Everyone, including non-Hamon users, can see Hamon. This can be seen even all the way back with Smokey in Part 2, who describes Joseph glowing. Darby would see this happening and instantly know Joseph was cheating, which would result in his soul being taken. Because of this, Joseph used a more discreet cheating method. Iggy Stan the Fool...
Yeah, okay, that makes a lot of sense. That's a good explanation.
The sand replica of Dio to fool Vanilla Ice. There are a couple different questions surrounding this. The first is how Iggy would know what Dio looks like. When the group's entire goal is locating and defeating Dio and they carry a picture of him around,
yeah, I think he would.
See why they wouldn't have shown Iggy this picture to let him know that once Dio...
See, dog, this is the man we're looking for. Can you find him? You know? It makes sense.
Was defeated, they would let him go home. Another question is how the voice was replicated. People seem to forget that Polnareff is there as well.
Oh my god, this is the worst episode. I don't want... No, I'm not going to read it.
And heard Dio before. Silver Chariot is shown to have an ability to remove his armor at the cost of defense to increase his speed. As with other stand abilities, people ask why the use of these decreased. Most people seem to mention the Vanilla Ice fight, despite speed not really being an issue here. Chariot doesn't have issue dodging the attacks, it only becomes an issue whenever he is unable to see the attack at all.
Oh, the page was also so beautiful though.
Such as when he
lost
part of his leg, which was after the sand he had thrown to track his movement had gone away. Dio makes his return.
Okay, we are past that episode. I was so traumatized. It was like 2 episodes. I feel like I watched the first episode and I was traumatized by then because I thought that Polnareff has died. And then I took like a week. I think I talked about this before, to recuperate, and then I watched the next episode, and then that was so horrible. Okay, calm.
Part 3, now with the time-stopping abilities of the world. However, he is no longer seen using some of his vampiric abilities like freezing and space for Stingy Eyes.
Doesn't need it.
Makes it very clear that Jonathan's body is rejecting him and limiting his vampiric abilities.
That makes sense. Let's see what he says. From the neck down, my body belonged to a man named Jonathan Joster. He was Joseph Joster's grandfather. Look at my fingers. See how my left finger heals slower? My left half is weaker. I haven't completely adjusted to this body. I'm not invincible yet. I'm not ready to fight them myself.
Even if he does have access to these abilities, he has little opportunity to use them.
Yeah, and since, maybe he doesn't feel the need to use them anymore also.
Freezing only works on direct contact, and would not work through stands since there is no moisture. And considering that Dio's main goal is to get more Joestar blood to strengthen his time stop, I think that the last thing he'd want to do is expel his bodily fluids in a last-ditch move like Space for Stingy Eyes.
I think for Jonathan's body, the best blood to assimilate, it would be Joestar blood, right? Yeah.
Lastly, Dio has become so confident in the world and improving its time stop that he would have little care for those other abilities.
Yeah, he was more concentrated on this one that is going well for him, that is going strong for him, and he doesn't have to adjust to anything. You are the chosen ruler of the world. It only makes sense that you will rule over time as well. One day I felt the wheels of time and the world become intertwined with each other. Also very beautiful panel. It was as if light was piercing through the darkness. It was a revelation. My heart never felt so light. I, Dio, have surpassed all living things, including all stand users. Now I can stop time for 5 seconds. And day by day, the time grows longer. Yeah, if I can do this, why would I do some other measly stuff? Yeah, that makes sense.
Before Dio gets in the car with the senator, he has a brief line acknowledging how long he has been alive. For whatever reason, people take this line as him saying he had never seen a car before.
But wait, such power and speed. There were only horse-drawn carriages when I, Dio, was born. Yeah, it just, like, I can see now a very advanced, maybe, let's say phone, okay? And I'm like, oh, like, when I was little, there was only, this phone that you put a finger on and you scroll it, and then you take, like, the phone thing and talk into it, and now we have this, that with internet and everything that you can carry around. It doesn't mean that I didn't see the whole evolution. It's just, you're thinking, wow, the progress really have gone this far. Like, the car is so good now. It's so, and when I was born, it was only carriages, and now we have this. Like, that's crazy what progress we had. I think that makes a lot of sense.
For whatever reason, people take this line as him saying he had never seen a car before, when he had been shown to travel to America before in Part 6. This is another minor point people blow out of proportion, since it's just a small line to remind people of Dio's age. Clearly, within Part 3, Dio has already seen a car, since he recruited the car-driving stand user, Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah, also maybe even when Dio was enamored by enamored, even though he somehow ended up in Florida to have children and meet Pucci. Yeah. No, yeah, okay, I already said my piece on that.
While Jotaro is fighting Dio, the two of them appear to fly through the air.
But the coloring is so pretty. See the purple and the yellow. Oh, that's just perfect colors together. It looks so good.
Really, this is them jumping and propelling themselves with their stands. An unfortunate side effect of the anime adaptation is the conversion of normally fast-paced scenes into much slower ones to include the details from each page. Their time in the air is prolonged because of their clashing and the time stops freezing Jotaro. But Jotaro is clearly not flying freely, since he is seen using his stand to redirect his momentum.
Makes sense. Also, another beautiful page. I really like how the panels are formed in these shapes that kind of add a little bit to the movement that is happening in the page. You know what I'm trying to say? That's really cool visually. Wow, fine, even if you can see me while time is standing still. Who cares? What matters is if you can move. If you can move like the world does, then show me.
Now, possibly one of the most controversial topics in JoJo, Star Platinum stopping time. As with the coffin, the biggest Araki Forgots seem to have the easiest answers. Jotaro was gifted a stand capable of defeating Dio from the Joestar curse. Not entirely dissimilar to how Jonathan's body and Joseph were given similar stands. The explanation for why Jotaro had to develop his time stop is the same with Dio's Hermit Purple. Dio has had a year to strengthen it, while Jotaro is just starting to learn it and is finally pushed hard enough to use it outright during the final battle. Jotaro tested whether or not he could move within time stop using the magnet trick. Since
yeah, it was already like he was starting to work with it and like realizing and discovering it like in real time as we watched. He put a magnet on me. He must have put it on my sleeve when we exchanged blows. It looks like a wallet magnet or a magnet taken from a pocket planner. You did it so your arm would move when I came close. You had me fooled. What cleverness. Only a man of incredible composure could ever pull off a bluff like this. You've earned my praise. Yeah, that is a pretty cool move, and also kinda, I don't know, shows a little bit of inheritance, so to say, from Joseph, that you're using kinda a trick, Okay.
the magnet was connected to Dio, it was not stopped in time, similar to anything else Dio holds. Because of this, it would attract Jotaro's magnet, and if he is able to feel this, he would know that he is capable of moving within stop time.
Wow. Wow. I love the effect on like the first panel. And then obviously the punch. Oh, it looks so gorgeous. Thank you.
Star Platinum's ability is super speed and reflexes. And what is the peak of those abilities if not moving so fast that it's like you stop time? Some also seem to imply that this ability wasn't planned and came out of nowhere.
Okay, this is the stand I designed first as a boss to contrast with Star Platinum's color and other traits. Yeah, oh, the colors. So wait, I thought the coloring is not official, or is it? But what do you say? What do you know about this? By countering Star Platinum's super speed with time stop, we get a battle between two characters with similar abilities. Yeah, so like I thought it all through from the start, I think is what is being said here.
It has been documented that the world and Star Platinum were the first two stands Araki created when planning Part 3.
Like planning how will they work together, how will they fight, you know, makes sense.
The thing I'll be covering is Joseph's revival.
Oh my gosh, it was such a like, I don't know, get a fake out. I remembered. Okay, let's go.
Into another moment in the next video, so I won't go into too much detail.
Oh, okay.
Joseph's body was clinically dead after the fight with Dio. By doing a blood transfusion with Dio's body and jump-starting the heart, Jotaro was able to resuscitate him. There are a couple things to go over with this. The first point is that since Joseph received blood from Dio's body, shouldn't he become a vampire? Vanilla Ice was revived with Dio's blood and became one. Why is Joseph any different? Well, a lot of the blood Joseph got back was really just his own blood, that Dio had taken only 4 minutes earlier.
You want to transfuse Dio's blood back into Joseph? You want to bring Mr. Joestar back to life? Dio sucked his blood out only 4 minutes ago. Since his upper body is missing, we'll just take from what is left.
Even if Joseph was to get some of Dio's blood inside of him, that would
Yeah, I think they mix.
trouble for a Hamon user. Jonathan was shown to be able to...
Hamon will reject the vampiric stuff, the extract to create zombies. If it's a small amount, Jojo can reject it. Ooh, interesting.
Expel vampiric essence from his body. Eliminating Dio's cells from within his own blood would be as simple as channeling a bit of Hamon.
Yeah, fair point.
Supported by Strezo, whose vampire cells were destroyed by his own Hamon.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay.
Second, some people question whether Joseph should be able to be revived to begin with. What people seem to miss is how little time he really spent without blood, which was 4 minutes. Even in real life, people have been revived from apparent death after longer periods than that.
20 minutes.
Others also bring up that Joseph's soul left his body. A detail
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, when you see the soul, you're like, that's it. I think I was even crying. I was like, dang. Because he's one of my favorite characters as well. He's so cool. And then he's dead. And I was so certain he's dead. And then they're like, nope, he's alive. I'm like, why are you doing this to me? Because I thought Polnareff was dying. Then, nope, Polnareff is alright. And then it was this too. And then when I go into future parts, I don't get really like the impact when the character I like is dying. I still have in the back of my mind, will he really die? Is this a fake out? Like, is this really happening? So I'm not really taking it seriously. And then when it's kind of certain, no, that character is already dead, I'm like, oh, okay. So I don't get, like, you know, the same strong feelings that I used to have in like the first parts. I think that's unfortunate.
people overlook is Jotaro questioning if he's seeing things in that scene, but I'll ignore that. People have gotten very caught up in the specifics behind souls leaving bodies and when someone is really considered dead in JoJo. At the end of the day, like most things in JoJo, it comes down to fate. Joseph Joestar is a character shown to have a supernatural tendency for cheating death, and this is no different. And that was every Araki Forgot for Part 3.
Okay,
This
thank
turned out
you.
to be the long-
Oh my god, it's ground so dark here. I didn't realize it's almost 6 p.m. Okay, I've been filming for an hour, you know, per usual. It was only a 20-minute video, but it was really interesting. It will be a pain to edit, I feel like. Okay, not too bad, not too bad. Wait, so I watched part 1 and 2 in one video. This is Debunking Araki Forgot part 3. So is there already a part 4? Because he released this video 5 years ago. Yeah, I think he did make a follow-up. I could watch part 4, part 5, part 6 by now. Possibilities are limitless. Wait, let's see. Ah, no, that's my own playlist. I can't check. Okay, but overall, that was very interesting. Now I'm just like, because he showed a little bit of the part 4, now my brain is there already. I'm excited to watch Debunking Araki Forgot part 4. No, I feel like part 4 is again something I remember a little bit less. I think like part 3 is probably the one I remember the best out of all of them, actually. I know I really loved it a lot, and honestly, when I was watching it, I didn't question a lot of things. You know, I'm a very easy watcher. I'm just like enjoying the process. I'm probably not going to notice if there is like a plot hole or anything like that. If overall things make sense, that's alright with me. Like, I'm just enjoying the story, the process, the visuals, the characters, the fun. So I'm never asking these questions, but I feel like Hamon Beat's answers to everything made a lot of sense, were very reasonable, very viable. Honestly, I was even surprised about some questions. Why are they even being asked? But yeah, I don't think I have much to add here, to be honest. I've been yapping for an hour. I feel a bit exhausted now. And I'm thinking about, yeah, like, if there is part 4, etc., like, are you interested to see my reaction to it? Because I would love to watch it. I think that's pretty interesting. And considering like this video, part 3, what do you think? Do you agree with the points being made here? Do you disagree with something? Is there something else you would like to add? Something you think Araki actually forgot, etc., etc.? Please share your thoughts in the comments down below. Obviously, again, just reminding, I watched only anime, only these 6 parts. So basically, I don't think you are going to say anything about the 7th part, but just in case, no spoilers. But yeah, feel free to talk about like this video, this part, and well, previous ones also if you'd like. And no, maybe 4th to 6th, but yeah, I think I'll make separate videos on that. So yeah, please share your thoughts in the comments down below. That would be it for today. So thank you for watching, and see ya.